Is SMMA oversaturated? Let's talk about it in today's video. So I saw a video made by Kai Bax, another fellow YouTuber. I don't know him personally, but his videos are honestly like incredible value. I'll link his channel down below as well. It's taught me a lot of stuff. So yeah. But anyways, he made a video talking about is SMMA saturated, and I would just kind of like make a follow-up video to that. So yeah, explaining my kind of perspectives on everything. Long story short, I don't think it's oversaturated, but I do think it's a way more competitive industry than it was 5 years ago. Just because everyone, their mums, their dogs, their cats, their frogs, their flamingos are all on SMMA. And you know, I could clearly tell because I've outreached to hundreds of business owners by now, and they literally get daily emails from marketers trying to sign them onto their own agency. And sometimes it gets really annoying for them, you know? And the problem is most of these digital marketers are highly just incompetent. And what has happened now is a lot of business owners are very hesitant to get on a call with you even, just because, you know, they get so many people outreaching them, and no doubt they've already taken some free consultation call or whatever, and, you know, just had received no value from them and was just upsold on their services. So yeah, like the barrier to entry is definitely higher now, for sure. But also, you know, most of these marketers are incompetent. So it's just like, you know, yes, barrier to entry is higher. Yes, it's more competitive, but is it oversaturated? In my opinion, not. Because you have to understand what oversaturation is, in my opinion. Like how I define it is when a market has no space for new entrants. Meaning, like there's physically no way you can get a client in this space if you're starting out. And that's just not the case. Yes, it's not as easy to get a client as it was 5 years ago, but the same principle still applies. You just need to work hard at it. So why do people think that it's oversaturated? Well, one, the barrier to entry for this industry is higher. Two, it is definitely a lot harder to get clients than it was, say, 2 years ago even. And three, prospects are catching up to your outreach tactics. And when I say they're catching up to your outreach tactics is they are fully aware of, you know, oh, if you jump on a discovery call to give you free value, you know, you're just gonna, it's another word for I'm gonna upsell you to my fucking service, you moron, you know? So definitely I think people are aware of what's happening now. By the way, if you're a prospect watching, you're not a moron, don't worry. It's just like the other digital marketers out there are morons because, you know, they think just by writing an email or whatever, they're going to get your attention. But anyways, I digress. So what does it actually mean when it's oversaturated? Well, you would be able to infer all of the realities if you just kind of read between the lines. So number one, yes, barriers to entries have been raised in the industry as a whole, but how about you just raise your own fucking standards as a digital marketer and just kind of overstep that boundary, like that barrier? Because by raising your own standards for your own agency, you'll essentially be able to overcome all these trash agencies out there and set yourself apart by providing an amazing service. So I think to overcome the current barrier to entry, you just need to be very personable with any prospect. Be confident in your service delivery, and actually have your intentions be, you know, let me get my clients some amazing results. Because at the end of the day, you have to be aware that, you know, our goals as agency owners is to make the client more money, not go 50-50. I always try to get my clients at least a 4x return on ad spend. Just because, like, you need to give them something more for them to give you a little piece of that. Because operationally, an e-com, like, business is such a headache to run. So it's just like they can give you a smaller piece of the pie. If you bring them X amount, this much value, they might give you this much. And that's how you have to look at it. With number two, it's harder to get clients. Yes, it is, but it's not impossible. You know, like people are getting clients on the daily. I know people that have signed clients just last week. In fact, I know agency owners are getting 15 new clients every month. Passively, just through referrals, cold outreach, and literally everything else. And they have teams of people to just automate that for them. Like getting clients is harder, yes, but it just takes more persistence. It's not impossible. Number three, yes, prospects are aware of outreach tactics. They're not stupid. And if you think you can get away with using traditional phrases like oh, you're leaving money on the table, or like, oh, sign up for this free consultation. I think this call will change the next 30 years of your business. Like people are aware of that. So how do you tackle that issue? By setting yourself apart and doing something different. So number one, I think you should just get really personal with any prospects you talk to. Really listen to them. Don't just, verbally diarrhea out some like sales script. Really just understand what their issues are and truly evaluate, like step back and just be like, hey, and truly evaluate whether you think you'll be able to get them the results. Two, if it's a good fit, like just personality wise, if it's a good fit for you to work together. So for example, I don't think it's worth it if you're an agency owner to take on a client that wants like daily calls with you to make sure that, like you're performing or whatever, because that's going to put massive stress on your account managers and it's going to put massive stress on you as an agency owner, and often those clients are like the biggest headache and don't pay you that much anyways. To set yourself apart, truly evaluate and take a step back and be like, am I a right fit? Because for example, one person that I outreach to, they were doing like £800 in revenue a month and they wanted me to run ads for them. And he even told me, I can secure a loan. Would you run ads for me? And I was like, no, because personally, I don't believe in the conversion rate of your website and blah, blah. So that was me walking away from like a £1,000 to £2,000 retainer just because they're just not in the right place, So do go into every sales call with the intention of truly helping out the business owner more than you help yourself. And that way, that's how you're going to stand apart from all of these BS marketers out there currently. So why is this industry not oversaturated? Okay, here's the thing. Oversaturation is a very relative term. It's just more competitive now. The best time to have gotten in on the SMMA space was 5 years ago when Ty Lopez was running his Here My Garage ad with the Lamborghini and shit. Everyone remembers that. It became a global meme, in fact, especially amongst the entrepreneur space, which is why everyone knows Ty Lopez now. But yeah, anyways, I digress. Back then, it was the golden era to hop on SMMA. However, now is not a bad time to start now either. So now you might be wondering, okay, Boyan, I'm convinced that the SMMA industry is not oversaturated. How do I set myself apart? Because that's all you've been talking about for the past fucking 3 weeks in your videos. Here's how you set yourself apart categorically. Look, stop using repetitive lines like, oh, you're leaving money on the table. I see something concerning about your digital marketing strategy. And just stuff like, oh, would you like a free consultation? Blah, blah. Stop using cliche phrases used by their dogs, their cats, their mums, their dads. Every single marketer's using these phrases. Just stop using them. It's not working. Look, tailor every email sequence to truly try to bring a form of value, even if it's not direct. So for example, sometimes, business owners would have ads running without them even noticing for when a sale has ended or something, but the ad is still up. In that email, I always try to highlight that. For example, I just be like, hey man, look, Peter, one of your sales ads is still up for Black Friday, even though it's January. Clearly you probably don't really have that much time to be managing Facebook ads at the moment, but you truly do understand the value clearly. I would recommend that you take that ad down because the link is even invalid. And if you want to jump on a call with me, I would love to show you how I can potentially help take over the operations for that stuff. And blah, blah, blah. I'm just rambling here, but yeah, just stop using cliche phrases, customize everything, and just be super personable with any prospects. That's ultimately how you set yourself apart. Obviously, there's more detail to it than that. But in this video, that's all I'm going to cover for now. Just set yourself apart by being personable, tailoring and customizing everything, and speak to the business owner with the intent of helping them as opposed to signing them. Another way to stand out is give your best information and products away for free. So for example, I give truly my best advice on my YouTube channel. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Honestly, there are some videos where I'm like, should I release this? Should I not? Maybe this will oversaturate the way I do things. And that means I just have to change the way I do it because it'll become oversaturated and it won't work anymore. But then the conclusion ultimately for that is every time it's just okay, cool. If I'm giving my best information away, that means I'll have a time period of my time to still innovate on on my current methods, meaning I'll have to force myself to constantly progress, which is why I always give my best away for free. Because I believe if I'm the originator of that information, then that means I should have the power to innovate on it before anyone else as well. In conclusion, don't get in on SMMA if you're a lazy bitch. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Any questions you have, comment it down below. I respond to every comment. And if you've enjoyed this video, give my channel a subscription as well. Highly, highly appreciate that. And I will see you guys on next week's videos. Bye, guys.